it's time for Legally Served with Attorney Franz Borghardt. What's happening, man?
Suited up, ready to go, baby.
You got court today.
I've got a closing argument at 9:30 in
That's
a case
awesome.
I'm trying. After the case is over, we can talk about it. It's actually it hasn't been in the media a lot.
No,
but it was in the media back in the day.
And it likely will be again, I'm guessing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
We'll get into all that a little bit later. Well, no, in a later episode, to be sure. Hey, before we dive in on the Madison Brooks case, good Valentine's Day?
Not really. I've been trial, so.
Oh man.
Yeah. I mean,
so this weekend's gonna be like a makeup weekend.
So this weekend I will make up, but I subscribe to the idea that you guys were talking about, which is I don't necessarily want to go out for Valentine's Day. I think it's the thought, right? It's what are your traditions? Like maybe you and your boo get crawfish.
That's what we do. Greatest tradition in the world.
Right. Maybe.
Although I will say it was the greatest tradition in the world when it was just Christy and I. And now that our children are of crawfish eating age, it's getting pricier. Like I was getting over for a while because Christy doesn't really care for that much for jewelry. She really hates flowers.
She hates them?
Oh, despises
like
flowers.
Allergic flower?
No. It just, you buy them, they're pretty for a day or two, and then they're dead. And I'm like, Christy, they were dead when I gave them to you.
So as you know, we just moved into a new house, and this new house, somebody sent the previous owner flowers, like in a box flower. Oh. And like they're not in Louisiana anymore. They're in like Michigan. And so what did we do? We got flowers.
There you go. But did you take credit?
No, I couldn't.
I was going to say, that would be a little bit shady.
She beat me to the box.
Yeah, so okay.
Otherwise.
Did she take credit?
No, she was like, oh, you don't have to get me flowers now. And I made the mistake of saying good because I wasn't getting you flowers.
Oh.
That was a mistake.
Yeah.
Alondra, mistake. It was a mistake. So, yeah, no, Valentine's Day was good. We did a simple one, and we'll probably do something this weekend.
So, yeah, we lost our favorite crawfish spot.
What's that?
It was on Government Street right there by the Shoppers Value, Capital City Crawfish. Absolute gem. Absolute value to the community. Wonderful place, and they're no longer open.
So a romantic spot I'm going to encourage you to consider going to.
Oh.
Whether by yourself, Alondra, or...
Wait, there's no crossover here between crawfish and romantic. They're not romantic.
Crawfish can be romantic.
No.
So, La Contia.
Oh.
Jefferson. I'm all about that place.
We've been there
before. You can go by yourself. You can sit at the bar. I mean, they're not going to wait, what? It's a great place to eat.
No, why would you say you could go by yourself?
Why am I getting called out?
I don't know.
I don't like this.
You can go with a friend. You can have a Galentine's Day.
We'll keep the conversation over here.
All right. Sorry.
No, it's all good. We got 2 minutes until break. I feel... I want to talk about the grand jury process.
You know they're going to indict these guys, right?
Not to quote my cousin Vinny for the second time in the morning, but you know how he says, you're an Alla bleeping Bama. You killed a good old boy. There's no way this doesn't go to trial.
You can indict a ham sandwich. That's the phrase.
Yeah. Okay.
So when the DA's office says we're seeking an indictment, that's their way of telling you we're going to get an indictment.
Okay. So that's where we're going to pick it up. The grand jury process, though, what do we need to know about it just as an outsider looking in that we wouldn't normally think of?
So it's not a trial. It's a lower standard, lower burden of proof. It's whether or not the grand jury believes there's probable cause to support a crime. Mm-hmm. There are no rules of evidence. It's just the prosecutor presenting evidence to the grand jury, either through witnesses or otherwise. And ultimately, the prosecutor then says, okay, guys, vote what you want to vote on. The prosecutor leaves the room and they vote. Mm-hmm. Here, the issue is going to be between first degree and third degree rape. And then the other question is do these defendants go and testify at grand jury? They're probably been invited to go testify at grand jury. They can't be compelled to testify.
Why would they, though?
I don't know why they would either. They're going to get indicted. So, I mean, there's video evidence. I was in trial when the secondary video came out where she's like, I'm sorry I hurt your feelings.
Yeah, we'll get into all that after the break. So if we're banking on this, I mean, it's what, 98, 99% sure that this is going to trial?
Hey, it's going to happen.
Okay.
Like if you want to do a parlay or whatever kind of betting terminology you want to use, like this is a sure deal. Like you cannot not get lucky on this one.
It's a minus 10,000 on the odds. He's attorney Franz Borghardt. Will continue Legally Served next. Oh, okay. I've already to start the morning. I've prevented myself from being fired once.
How's that?
Hey, it's going to happen, said Kayvon Washington.
Oh, I was curious if you were going to bite on that fish hook. It's a sure deal. You are cool, Alondra. God, Keith is firing shots, man. I'm not firing shots.
You fired a shot. Hey, if you want to have a lonely dinner all alone by yourself alone, Locke and Tia will not throw you on the street for being lonely and alone.
Hold on. For a long time, Franzi was single. And for a long time, Franzi would go to restaurants by himself, read a book. And it was, you know what? It was absolutely delightful. It was delightful.
For a long time, Franzi didn't catch shit within these four walls for any of that.
Well, that's because Franzi's kind of a big deal.
You know what? It's okay. It's okay. It's all in good fun.
I'm tired of looking dumpy. That's why I'm not sitting in the chair anymore. I'm tired of looking dumpy. I got a nice suit on. I don't want to look dumpy anymore. You do fire back. You don't not fire back. Can we talk about the Gordon McKernan commercials with Coach, what's her name? Mulkey, my girl. Oh. What I like about my girl is she likes money. She likes buckets of money.
I really don't like that when she first got here, she said they threw a buttload of money at me.
Was it a bucket or a buttload?
A buttload. And then turned around and said, I never said that. I'm like,
you absolutely said that.
Everything's on tape now.
If we're going to put a number on buttload.
That's a 7-figure number.
7-figure.
Yeah.
And it has to be a 7-figure where it's above 7 figures enough to where it feels like a 3 or 4.
Yeah.
Do we know what her total pay is?
I don't know.
Do a Google. Kim Mulkey net worth. I just want to.
Isn't it 1.9?
Oh, that's not. I don't know if that's a bucket, but well,
I don't
to
know.
start off for women's basketball, that's probably a very high paid coach, and then based on her performance, I would say that she's earned it.
Here. I'm sorry, 2.5 for the first year.
That's a respectable number.
Up to 3. I knew it got up to 3.3. I just didn't know where it started.
That is, let me tell you, anything above 1, anything that has like a 2 or above on it, that's money.
Look,
Now, don't get me wrong. I'd take $1 million. Buttload.
I've got my next contract sitting on my desk.
Do you feel like do you feel like when someone says they paid me a buttload of money and it's like 1.9 and that's a straight face for women's basketball? Yeah.
Yeah.
She's probably, I would venture to guess she's one of the higher paid women's basketball coaches.
I think she's top overall. Highest paid women's basketball coach.
Byron, those Google net worth searches are bogus. Says my kid's a millionaire. I assure you she ain't. I love Byron.
Okay, she's third. Nope. Yeah. Gino Auriemma, that makes sense. He's been around forever.
Byron, I went to City Roots yesterday.
City Roots is legit. City Roots is a fun.
That was what I did for Valentine's Day.
You can sit at
City Roots, and they had
I was
like a
just about to say you can go sit at City Roots, have a nice little you time, maybe go to Baru and get some ramen.
I went with a friend, but thank you.
Who needs to step their game?
Okay, well then you weren't alone. You were with a friend.
All right, enough is enough.
Was the friend real or imaginary?
She was imaginary.
Snuffleupagus. I call it Snuffleupagus.
Can I say that this is by choice? Okay, like.
Don't worry.
Every time you speak up about it, you just start.
Don't worry. I'll get what I deserve in the end. Don't worry.
He'll chase something shiny eventually. Just
I chase things all the time. Like a dog. I don't know what to do if I caught it.
That's right. Christy says, I don't despise flowers. I just think it's a terrible way to spend money.
She's practical.
Sounds like despising. Smells like hatred.
I can
tell you though, I at least
to be fair, okay, so her favorite flower is a tulip. I do know that.
Yeah.
But I'm overplaying it for the purpose
I
of
respect
playing it.
a human being, woman or man, that says, "Get me something thoughtful that lasts, not flowers that die."
Right.
Now you can press flowers, you can do stuff with flower. You can make a rosary out of a flower out of flowers.
Oh, there's no shortage of rosaries.
You can make art.
Wouldn't
you need to unload some of those rosaries.
Time to get a look at your Wednesday forecast. Here is WBRZ meteorologist Marissa Nuzzo. If we're going to frame them, I would rather have pictures of our kids in that frame. There is no one area where flowers are going to win the day. It's just dumb.
You cannot just get a human being flowers as a gift and that be sufficient.
Right.
Marilyn Monroe set the bar high. Diamonds are a girl's best friend.
Well.
She didn't say sticky notes.
Mm-mm.
Love you, Natalie.
Yes. She found my bumper folder. It's all good. 637 Talk 107.3 FM WBRP, hanging at 68 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. Every Wednesday, we do a little segment called Legally Served. Attorney Franz Borghardt comes in for that, and he is in now. All right, let's move over to this particular case. We were talking grand jury proceedings. Let's move over to the case of Madison Brooks. A number of different things have transpired, Franz. Number one, there's a 29-second video.
This is after the alleged incident in the car where she's getting out of the car.
Yes.
Where she's making statements.
Yes.
Have you seen it?
No, I have not seen it. Okay. I've been told what's in it.
Okay.
In a pretty detailed manner, but I have not physically watched it.
And this video was given to the news from the defense team, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, that's correct.
Right.
And the video does not bode too well for Madison's case.
That would be the argument.
That would be an understatement.
Yes.
But nonetheless, it is a 29-second clip that is after everything is over with.
Right.
What is it the defense will use within that clip? Because I would imagine a 29-second clip that would include actual consent would exonerate their clients, not a 29-second clip in the aftermath.
So remember, for rape based on impairment, she has to be so impaired that she is unable to consent.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do we judge that? Well, we can look at her blood alcohol content, right?
Yeah.
If it's reliable. We can also look at her demeanor, what she says, how she says it. Is she coherent? Is she making sense? Does she sound like she's drunk? Does she sound like she's sober? Now, by the way, just because she sounds, I mean, this is South Louisiana. I know everybody will understand what I'm about to say. There are folks that don't look hammered and drunk.
Yeah.
That can hold themselves together that are hammered and drunk.
Yes.
The question is, does that video show that she's able to consent? I don't know. I don't know the answer to that.
The other problem here is different timelines, because drunkenness does have a peak and a valley.
Yeah.
To be sure.
Well, so the problem is if this happened after the encounter in the car, and I use the word encounter in the car because these guys are all
delicate.
Well, it's not just that.
Full time. I appreciate.
They're all
delicate.
It's not my normal.
I know.
These guys are all presumed innocent.
Yes.
So there is a universe in the multiverse where they did not rape her. There is a universe where maybe they did, but they're presumed innocent. And maybe it's because I'm in trial mode right now, but we need to remember that. And so a video that happens right after the alleged act is relevant. It's probative because it's going to show what she was like right afterwards. And unless this was a multi-hour exchange.
So there's a 1 hour window, basically, an hour and 15-minute window from the time, I might be off by a minute or two on that, from the time she was filmed in the parking lot of Reggie's until she was hit by a car.
So look, this case is starting to become something beyond just the case, right? LSU's president came forward and made a statement, and then sexual assault groups came down hard on the president because of some ancillary
Which was
things.
just absolutely dumb.
This is kind of like the Alec Baldwin case where there's a shooting, and then everybody comes out of the woodwork and makes it about something about firearm safer, whatever, that it's not. I'm not saying this isn't about sexual assault. I'm saying the defense has put forth evidence that is very thought provocative.
Yes.
And by thought provocative, I mean, could a normal juror, not a grand juror, could a normal juror say, you know what? I've got a reasonable doubt whether or not she was able to consent or not. This grand jury is going to indict them.
Okay.
As sure as you're sitting here, they're going to indict them.
Let's talk strategery for a minute then, and we're going to get into some of the other extenuating circumstances after the break. 29-second video presented to WBRZ, but a 29-second video, if you've got that, and you know this is going to trial. Video or not, this is going to trial. Why would the defense present that now, allowing the prosecution to form an argument that can circumvent it?
So in a normal case where it may not be going to trial, you give it to the prosecution, give it to law enforcement. Why? Because you're trying to get in front of this.
Right.
You're trying to say, hey.
You're not getting in front of this.
Right. Well, now we're going back to something we talked about a week ago. The case is now being tried where? In the media.
Right here. Yeah.
In the media. We're talking about it.
Yeah.
Of course we're talking about it.
Yes.
We need to talk about it. But that is why you would release it to WBRZ. There's only one reason to release a video to the news. Now, maybe they feel like the news has been slanted against their clients, and maybe that's why they're doing it. I think they've done multiple press conferences. And again, look, I told Alondra before we even went on air, I'm a media whore. Fact, not in dispute, right?
Fair.
All right. When I'm the person saying, okay, guys, let it die down a little bit.
Yeah.
It's not going to die down until after the grand jury.
Correct. And then it'll ramp back up again once the trial starts.
Right. But that's going to be way down the road.
No, I know. The part about this that leaves me curious is,
so look,
if it's going to ramp back up when the trial starts, then why wouldn't you hang on to the video until then? Are there certain timelines with which evidence has to be submitted? Like, what benefit does the defense have inside the courtroom by putting this out there now?
Again, you're trying your case in the media for optics. You're hoping that you can put it. Just as prosecutors and law enforcement are motivated by societal pressures, feelings. I didn't say whims, but one could say whims.
Okay.
Political climates. By putting it out in the media, by trying it in the media, you're starting to give pushback on that by saying, look, there's more to it than what everybody's reporting.
All right. So they did that when they held a press conference, by the way.
Right. There is an entire video, right?
Well,
that's what we're led to believe.
I'm assuming the entire thing, yes. But here's the thing, though. If I tell you in a press conference, which, by the way, is the beginning of trying things in the media.
Right.
If I tell you in a press conference, I've got video that will exonerate my clients, why, at that point, you're already trying it in the media. Now sit on it. Let them doubt, let them hate, and then come back around with a return volley later.
So good pieces of evidence that exonerate your client speak for themselves. Video generally speaks for itself, right? So I do agree with you to a certain degree. Put it out in the universe and see what happens. The problem is,
put the video out, or the knowledge that there is.
If you're going to put the video out there, you don't need to say anything. It speaks for itself. You tell the news. We don't have to say anything, guys.
Right.
This speaks for
If you're
itself.
going to have a press conference saying I have a video, you have no reason to actually produce the video yet. You have the talk of the video.
If you're going to talk about having a video, then you're going to have to release the video.
I mean, I don't know.
I've got this really good piece of evidence, but I'm not going to show you guys. No, you're going to show.
Have to.
You don't. Well, they don't have to do anything.
No, I know.
They could simply say, "We're going to wait for our day in court," and we believe that there's facts sufficient to prove beyond a reasonable doubt that my clients are not guilty. Never mind the fact that my client keeps getting arrested for the same behavior.
What facts?
Right.
The video.
Well,
show me the video. I'm not going to do that right now.
I have said before with a disingenuous face, I don't try my cases in the media. I try my cases in the court of law.
I'll be very fair. You've never talked about one of your cases on this show.
And I want to put something in perspective, just to give you timeline reference.
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying a case from July of 2020.
Mm-hmm.
Now, that's a pandemic case, so that means what? There was some shutdown going on there.
Yeah.
But the case I'm trying is from July of 2020.
We got a break. We'll pick this back up. Other extenuating circumstances after we check traffic and your money now on Talk 173.
I will say this. I'll say this. In 16 years of practicing law, I've never held a press conference. Every time I've ever talked to the media, it's been on my way out of the courthouse where they interview me.
Yeah.
Or WBRZ or WAFB says, "Hey, will you come talk to us about X?" I don't even know.
But you're not trying your case in the media. The media is asking you for response to your case.
So
it's a totally different thing. If you tell the media, "Come here and hear me," now you're the whore.
So I got to be honest with you. I wouldn't even know. I would assume that the way you hold a press conference is you do a document and you send it to all the media outlets saying, "Hey, we're going to have a press conference at this time." Yeah, I've never done it. I don't know. I'm not criticizing the legal team. I'm just saying we don't see this a lot because a lot of the cases aren't like this.
Broderick says, "My opinion in this incident is that I believe if this young woman would not have been killed, this would be just another night in Tigerland." Well, this is where we're going after this, is apparently this happens regularly in Tigerland based off of our other story.
I didn't hang out in Tigerland when I was in LSU.
I did.
I mean, I understand it's
but
a
it was
fun
the
time.
90s. It wasn't Reggie's. It was Sports Illustrated.
State Street was also pretty.
State Street was sketch.
I mean, and Tigerland isn't sketch.
No. By the
way, have you been to State? I know there's no reason for you to go to State Street these days, but have you gone to State Street?
City Slice.
City Slice is there. They got some good taco. I mean, the food and the plate.
I'm not a fan of the cookie place.
Okay.
Everybody loves the cookie place.
Paper Rock
Yeah.
Paper Rock Tacos is delicious. Soul Shine is good. I'm sorry, Rock. Yes, Alondra. Rock Paper
We did that
Taco.
on Foodie Friday.
They're who? Soul Shine?
No, Rock Paper Taco.
I think they're good.
They are.
Yeah. I think they're opening Murphy's up again.
They are. I can't wait for that. You should go to Murphy's a lot too before that whole shopping center was torn down.
There's a nice little sushi place behind all that, Alondra. Great place to have a meal if you want to go eat a meal. Sushi place. It's like a buffet. It's like a sushi buffet, which I know on its face it sounds scary.
I go to Sushi Masa for that.
Oh, dude.
You're talking about Taste and See?
Yeah, tonight after this trial, I'm taking the crew to
It's
Sushi
both
Masa.
sushi and hibachi.
If you guys want to see Franz Borchardt tonight, Sushi Masa, let's shut it down.
Dude, I went.
Wait, is that the all-you-can-eat one?
Yes.
Okay.
And it's actually not bad. I'm sorry,
it's not
Alondra.
No, it's really good.
Yeah.
Like I went on Saturday and I went after the gym.
You earned it. You earned it.
Demolished some sushi. Yeah, I earned it. Because I was like deadlifting 200 pounds. 4 sets of 8.
Nice. Very nice.
How much do you bench?
I'm actually going to try. I'm going to sound sexist. By and large, girls can't bench.
Okay. But deadlifting's pretty, that's savage. She's cut. She's ripped. All right, so here's the problem. And this goes across men and women. If you're too cut, it's unattractive. If you got some definition,
I don't know if I agree with that. The people you see that are cut up for competition,
that's gross.
They dehydrate themselves for that.
But that's also gross.
They're not like that on a regular basis.
Yeah. My thing is I don't want to be like
Swole. What's the difference between swollen and cut?
I need to trim down.
They're almost noticeable.
You got abs?
My teardrops. That's my goal to get.
So when I lost all the weight and I was running, my legs looked like little chicken legs. I had some calf muscles going on, but I had like little chicken legs, and it was like.
You skipped leg day?
All I was doing was walking and running. Oh. And so I had a lot of tone in my legs, but it looked like chicken legs. Yeah. Bill Perfita made fun of him. Shocker.
Yeah, I
I'll
don't
say
think
this,
he's.
I can't bench press my body weight. I can't. Apparently, that's like the
See,
measure.
I don't know how much I can bench anymore. I stop at 225 and just do more reps at 225. I have no reason to go above that.
I hear that. I hear that
45s on it.
multiple reps of a lighter weight can be more impactful than like just trying to kill
The
yourself.
most impactful thing is the thing you're going to do the most. Whatever you get into a routine with and start actually doing, and then changing things up after a little while so that your body can react
Need to
differently when you
stretch my
plateau.
selfie muscles.
I switch up my split every like 2 to 3 months.
Leg day. Every day is leg day.
Every day is so I do squats the first
My
3 days of
split
the
now is
week,
3 days.
and then Wednesday today is my crazy leg day, where I don't do squats. I do leg press, but it's like 200 reps of 195 pounds, and then
This is one of my favorite attorneys, Harry Daniel.
Jason said the video would give him reasonable doubt.
Look at this. I don't know how much that weighs. This is a deadlift, right?
yes, it is.
You used to probably lift in a significant amount of weight, right? If you had to guess.
Okay, so the big ones are 45s a piece, and then 35s, and then those look like 10s on the.
But you just don't know unless you.
So the bar is 45 pounds. So those 5 times 45 would be 225, and then you start doing the math on the smaller stuff as well.
Jason said she looks like any stupid drunk person saying dumb things.
Well, that's not helpful to the defense, right?
Yeah, that's true.
I'm sorry I embarrassed you. These guys should have hired Franz.
That's true. That's not helpful.
Right.
But Jason says it's reasonable doubt. So.
Now, here's the.
Yeah, listen. 652 Talk 107.3 FM, WBRP, 68 degrees in downtown Baton Rouge. We are back at it. Attorney Franz Borghardt in for Legally Sir. We'll catch up with ABC News in about 7.5 minutes from right now. All right, Franz, we talked about the video in our last segment. This segment, I want to move over to the story that I led the show off with this morning, and that is that Kayvon Washington has now been charged in another rape.
Kayvon Weinstein.
Wow. Right? Here's the thing. The first accusation comes out and everything's spelled out right there. Now, when the second accusation comes out, I don't believe we had as much information on that one as we do on the third one, because the third one, Kayvon Washington, 18 years old, is now the subject of at least 3 separate criminal rape complaints that have come to light amid the publicity of arrest in the Brooks rape. He was booked last month on account of third-degree rape in that case. He and an unnamed juvenile are accused of raping her in the backseat of a car after leaving Reggie's. This most recent one stems from an incident that started in the parking lot at Reggie's as well. This time he brought the girl, allegedly brought the girl back home.
So you're saying that his modus operandi, his MO,
Correct,
is to pick up women at Reggie's.
Yes.
That are unable to consent.
Yes.
And then have sex with them.
That would be the allegation.
Right.
And that would be the way the allegations are telling the story.
So,
I'm trying to be very innocent until proven guilty.
Well, yeah.
But
so we live in a world now to where if 5, in this case 3 individuals, in this case 2 additional individuals are accusing you of doing the same thing, essentially, that you did to the current victim, it's problematic. It's hard. It's hard to defend that. Even faced with the fact that there's zero forensic evidence in these cases. I assume there's zero forensic evidence because they're just now coming forward.
Right. Here, let me move over from the advocate version of the story to the WBRZ version of the story because it's much more condensed there. The documents allege the assault happened after the victim got drunk at Reggie's Bar in Tigerland and ended up at a male acquaintance's home along with Washington. The victim told police she was preparing to engage with that person, who was identified as Carson Jones, when Washington walked in the room. So she didn't go home with Washington. She went home with this other dude.
Right.
And she's about to get down with this other dude. Washington walks in. She says she asked Washington to leave the room. Jones asked if Washington could stay and watch. And then Jones got more aggressive, according to the complaint. Says things escalated from there. But do you see where a pattern is starting to develop here?
That's the problem, right?
Yeah.
So a sexual assault advocate would explain to you why we see victims not in real time report rape and assaults, and that sometimes it takes time for them to come forward.
Oh no, yes, completely.
I mean, so it is not
completely.
So if you're listening to the point behind that is if you're listening, you're like, well, why didn't she come forward sooner? There is going to be an argument for that, right? However, again, the problem becomes there's no measuring stick of how do we, is it because there's multiple that we believe them? Right? It's easy to believe it if it's 3 or 5, or does it cut the other way? When it starts becoming like the Weinstein or Bill Cosby numbers, are you kind of like, some of these people probably are being truthful?
Weinstein and Bill Cosby, there's another potential motive there. I don't know that Kayvon Washington is sitting on millions upon millions of dollars.
Right.
And someone will be looking to, quote unquote, get theirs by getting their name in the game.
So you're all
nothing to gain on this.
Brian Haldane, it's like I've taught you well. Brian Haldane has now astutely pointed out, what is the motive or incentive for lying, right? That's the question. Why? The question in every sexual assault case is, okay, well, if she is not being truthful, why lie? Is it a monetary reason for lying? Is it a buyer's remorse? Like, I had sex with this person, and now it's on the internet that I had sex, and I have remorse for having sex with
now
them.
I'm going to run my name through the public ringer because of that?
No. I think your point is very well made, that I don't know that there's an incentive for these people to just spontaneously make it up, unless you're going to sue LSU. Unless you're going to sue LSU, in which case there is a monetary incentive. Or Reggie's.
Yeah.
So maybe, I mean, you're right. This defendant doesn't have a deep pocket.
No.
Reggie's has insurance. LSU, although I think a lawsuit against LSU is going to be very problematic.
Yes.
Yeah.
So now we turn our attention to Reggie's.
Okay.
Because if this is where this guy is, and I will use the term hunting ground. If you buy into all the allegations, the pattern is this guy is seen. This guy has.
This is like, hold on.
I don't know how to say this without getting myself in total trouble. But he knows where the fish are biting.
Is okay. I'm going to use an analogy. Cadillac Cafe, where the fish are biting.
Cadillac Cafe is like, what the hell did I do?
Right. But Cadillac Cafe had a reputation of being known, for a certain, right. My point is, that's not what we're dealing with here. You have to prove that Reggie's knew that this was happening, and then you have to ask, is Reggie responsible for what happens to its patrons after they leave? That's the tricky. You may be right that it's a hunting ground, but is Reggie's response? And look, I have no dog in this hunt.
Right.
I don't defend Reggie's hadn't hired me. These guys haven't hired me yet. I have no dog in this. But if you want to start, if we're talking civil liability, now I bet you there's a conversation at some point about criminal liability in Reggie's, because that's the world we're living in. Negligent injury and
it's a conversation worth having, by the way.
Yeah. But I think you are right that Tigerland as a whole, not just Reggie's, let's be fair, Tigerland as a whole can be, quote unquote, a hunting ground. And by that, we're very specifically meaning an opportunity for people to find and exploit individuals who are not able to commit to consensually have sex.
Which is why the president of the university goes over to Tigerland and has that
Wait, he hangs out there?
No. Has the conversation about cleaning things up, which is why that was not a dumb move, which is why it was a very smart... it's a whole separate conversation.
The president does not hang out in Tigerland, though?
No.
Okay.
No. He's attorney Franz Borchardt. We do Legally Served every Wednesday. We will be back at it next Wednesday. Ash Wednesday, in fact. Franz, I always appreciate the time, brother.
Bye, guys.